Okay, so for page 3, we've already got the yellow started. This is page 1 and page 2. I'm not sure I'll go through them every time, but we've already got yellow started. But I kind of wanted to show you something, and this is for those of you who want to journal a lot, but don't want to have that information, read back by someone else later on. And I'm sure that you've heard before, I'm sure someone has said it to you, that you can paint, like gesso over or paint over your journaling. But there is something else that you can do, and that is that some markers are not water resistant, that they will merge and blend and blur with water. So if you know which of your markers will do that, these Kids Crayola markers will definitely do that. I can't remember if these other two do, so I'm going to do a little journaling with all of them. And I will go ahead, obviously, and speed this process up on the video so that you're not, watching me think and write. But I'm going to just do some journaling here that I intentionally don't necessarily want it to be read by another person. page has dried overnight, it's time to finish out getting our background started. So I'm going to kind of roll with the pink and yellow that I sort of already have happening. And I'm going to go for my absolute favorite pink, which is this pretty pink. I'm going to go with just a bright yellow. And then I actually have a fluorescent pink, like a neon pink. Let me see if I can hunt it out here, as my paint drawer is overly full. This is a nice neon pink from Daler Rowney, or fluorescent pink. So I'm going to go with these three colors of paint. And you don't always have to start with like imagery, like a stencil or anything. Sometimes you can just start with color and just kind of play. And that's sort of, whoops, what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to put some of the pink out and all over me, apparently. I can't get it off now. And just kind of keep intermixing the colors together as I go, and I'll probably mix some white in here as well. I'm just going to use a good sized flat brush just because that's my favorite brush of the moment. And I'm just going to move it around. I'm not going to, be real concerned with absolute coverage or where exactly it's going. I just don't care. And you wouldn't have to use any paint had I used that Crayola marker through the entire thing. But since I didn't, I do want to push back, that writing and get rid of it. Because it shouldn't be the focus of the page by any means. When you feel like your paint isn't moving anymore, just get your brush a little bit wet. That will help get the paint to flow again with your brush across the page. Whoops. And then I'm going to add yellow in. Now it's going to, it's going to make orange, and that's absolutely, fine with me. It's my favorite color combination is pink and yellow. I love the two colors together. I really do. So I'm just going to try to finish out covering the rest of this page. I can see writing coming back through. Sometimes getting rid of writing is a lot harder than the actual process of sitting and journaling out your thoughts. And I'm all right if I've got some spots, where it's still a little bit white. It's totally cool. Now, I could go in and add some white back into this. Typically, that's probably what I would do. But I do want a hint of that writing to show through. And if I add white over this, I'm going to obliterate it entirely. So I'm going to leave this as it is, and I'm going to call this our background. So test your markers, see which markers will actually, lift and blend and fade away with water. And then either, make yourself a note, a mental note, put a little W on a sticker and put it on that particular, package of markers or whatever, just so that you can remember in the future what markers are going to react that way with water, so that you have that as an alternative to having pages that have, that are filled with writing that you then have to worry about, you don't want anyone to read that writing, or having to, spend the time to gesso out every page that you've done that with. I literally, especially when I'm working like with ideas, like just trying to brainstorm things, or when I'm really emotional and I just really want to get something out and I can't go say it to someone, the best way for me is just to sit there and write it out. And I can be known to take a big page like this and fill 4 or 5 of them all at one time. So it's really awesome for me to know that when I'm ready, I can just spritz water on them and that writing will kind of push away. And something that I might try to do while we're doing this class is do a single page that I write on and re-wet with different colored markers, because you can do this over and over as long as your paper can take more water. Or being re-wet again, you can keep doing it. You can also do it over top of acrylic paint and it will still lift up. You can't put acrylic paint over it, let it dry, and then get it to lift, but you can do it right over top of acrylic paint and it will still, just like you did before, lift up. And so we'll play with this maybe throughout the class a couple of times. But for today, this is it. This is our background start, and I will see you tomorrow with figuring out what on earth is going to be our focal for this page.